Hey guys, today I'll be continuing my Twilight Zone reviews. Today I'll be doing episodes 7, 8, and 9, which would be The Lonely, Time Enough at Last, and Perchance to Dream. Or Perchance to Dream, sorry. So yeah. First, let's start off with The Lonely. Now, The Lonely starts out, with this dude who is another one of those solitary episodes at first, and then he gets visited by this space crew who gives him a package who turns out to be a female robot who at first he doesn't believe has any emotions and it'll just drive him crazy. Then it turns out she's basically a woman, and then he kind of likes her and falls in love with her and such have you, and then the guys come back, shoot her, and that's kind of it for what happens in this episode. The episode's pretty interesting. There's not really much to it. The set is pretty good, but there really isn't much that they had to do but make a background. But I enjoyed this episode a little. It was just one of those ones that kind of dragged on, and some things didn't feel as good as other episodes. But I'd probably give The Lonely a 6 out of 10. I did like the acting in it. It's pretty interesting. And it's kind of creepy because the lady who actually played the robot actually looks a lot like a robot. Just kind of looked like a robot in some scenes, which she acted that out pretty well, I think. Next I'll be doing Time Enough at Last. Now this is about some guy that likes books too much, and then everyone for some reason says reading books are bad in this episode. And then everyone dies in a nuclear blast, but he was in the bank that he works at's vault reading books, while everyone else was outside, and he's the last person alive. For a while he's just kind of lurking around, and then eventually he finds a library where he gets all the books he wants, so he's pretty excited for that, and then his glasses break. So basically, I guess they didn't want him to read or something. But anyways, this one was pretty good. I'll probably give it like a 8. Next up, I'll be reviewing Perchance to Dream. Now, this is about a guy named Edward Hall, who's having dreams that who's played by Richard Conte, who's having dreams that he is actually being chased around by a cat lady, so he decides to go to a doctor named Dr. Rathman, played by John Lurch. This cat lady's actually played by Suzanne Lloyd as well, just mentioning that. This episode is interestingly written, but I wasn't a huge fan of the execution, because I just didn't like the acting all that much. I did like, Richard Conte as Edward Hall, but the rest of them were just kinda although most supporting cast in this, since it's only a one-time thing, not all the supporting cast is great. But I just wanted to point out in this one I didn't like them as much, but I did really like Richard Conte. This episode, of course, as I said earlier, he goes to the psychologist, and then he falls asleep right away when he goes to the psychologist, and dreams that he's talking to his psychologist, and it turns out that he is, but in a dream, and then he talks about how, he doesn't want to go back to sleep, otherwise he'll die in his sleep, so he tries to commit suicide in his dream, and then he just dies of a heart attack, and that's basically it for the episode. I can only probably give Perchance to Dream like a 7 out of 10 because I didn't like the acting on it. But that's all for today, guys. So thanks for watching.